This story that I am preparing to give to you all is for justice for Amiya Braxton. This story is so heartbreaking, and my heart and condolences go out to the Braxton family. I'm so sorry this had to happen to you, and I would like all of you to share this video, like, and comment your thoughts. Also, what I would like for you to do is imagine your 7-year-old, beautiful, healthy, full of life, young child getting off of a school bus, minding her own business, hasn't done nothing wrong, and getting killed right in front of your home. I want you guys to put this into perspective and also think about if the person that did this to your child got away with it. No charges, was in the same hospital as your baby, and got to get up out of that hospital and go back to their life. This is serious, and this is not right. Let's take a look at what happened to Amiya Braxton. I have an article here from WLBT.com. Child hit and killed while getting off of a bus in Pontotoc County identified. This was posted October 5th of 2016 and updated on July 1st of 2016. Pontotoc County, Mississippi. Pontotoc County Sheriff's deputies were at the scene of a deadly accident where a child was apparently struck by a vehicle when getting off of the bus. According to WTVA, Sheriff Leo Mask said the accident happened on Old Highway 9 Tuesday afternoon. He says the child was getting off of a bus when a vehicle swerved around the right side of the bus to avoid a collision. Pontotoc County Coroner Kim Befford identified her as 7-year-old Amiya Braxton, who lived at home where the bus stopped to drop her off. The accident remains under investigation. Now, I want to remind you all that this is in the state of Mississippi, okay? And this should not be surprising to you all. That's why we have to make some noise and get everybody together on this. So share this video. Share the information to all of your top celebrities, everybody that you think can make a difference. This is in Mississippi. After this tragic incident, Karen Carpenter was taken to the same hospital as Amiya Braxton. And the reason why you haven't heard Karen Carpenter's name yet is because her information was not made public until years after this crime. So she got to go free without any charges after she left the hospital. I got an article here from ClarionLedger.com. Grand jury refuses to indict woman in death of 7-year-old girl. Posted September 15th of 2017. A Pontotoc County grand jury declined to indict the driver of an SUV who struck and killed a girl as she got off a bus in 2016. 7-year-old Amiya Braxton was exiting the bus near her home when a Saltillo woman swerved around the bus and hit Braxton just after she stepped off. Police said the woman did not see the bus and drove onto the shoulder of the road in order to avoid a collision. I have spoken to a family member of Amiya Braxton's, and she explained that the DA, John Weedle, and the DA assistant, Sadie Gardner, did not help Amiya Braxton's case at all. They found no reason to charge Karen Carpenter. And that is very, very sad. There was another case that came after Amiya's, and I am going to let you hear about that. And that was handled by the same people. Watch this. I have an article here from djournal.com. Newman pleads not guilty in Baldwin bus fatality. March 5th of 2019. Tupelo. A Prentiss County man will remain free on bond following his arraignment on 2 felony charges in connection with the Halloween death of a boy getting on a Baldwin school bus. Attorney Tony Farce confirmed that his client Hunter Newman entered not guilty pleas March 1st in Lee County Circuit Court. Judge John White ruled that Newman could remain free on the same $10,000 bond until the case goes to trial. No trial date has been set. Newman, age 22, of 29 County Road 4060, Marietta, was arrested October 31st, just hours after his vehicle struck Dalen Thomas, age 9, as he was crossing a state highway to board a stopped school bus. The Mississippi Highway Patrol charged him with aggravated assault on the day of the wreck. When Thomas later died, the charges were upgraded. A Lee County grand jury met in early January and listened to the evidence against Newman. In mid-February, the grand jury handed down 2 indictments: causing injury while overtaking a school bus, Nathan's Law, and culpable negligence, manslaughter. Each charge carries a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. Newman was driving along Highway 370 around 6:30 a.m. on October 31st when he did not stop for a school bus and struck Thomas as he was crossing the highway to get on a stopped school bus. Thomas, who lived in the Pratt's community, was transported by ambulance to North Mississippi Medical Center in Tupelo and was later airlifted to LeBronner Children's Hospital in Memphis, where he died from injuries sustained in the crash. The wreck happened on a flat, straight, open stretch of 2-lane highway east of Baldwin. Witnesses described the lighting as dusky. At the time the wreck happened, about a half an hour before sunrise, Newman remained on the scene and talked to officers. He said he saw flashing lights but thought it was a tractor. When he finally realized it was a bus, it was too late to stop. But the 2 motorists behind Newman's westbound truck said they were able to tell it was a school bus a lot further away. And the man right behind Newman said he saw the bus strobe light on the roof about a half a mile away. That witnesses said he never saw Newman's brake lights. A second driver, even further behind Newman, said she saw the yellow flashing lights on the school bus well before she got there and started slowing down. During a November 2018 preliminary hearing, Justice Court Judge Sadie Holland ruled there was enough probable cause that a crime took place and to send it to the grand jury. Newman and his attorney disagreed, saying that this was a tragic accident caused by a perfect storm of events. Culpable negligence is when the negligence is so bad that we attach criminal charges, Farce said. He was not speeding. He was not using drugs. Tragic accidents happen in life. Now, isn't that interesting that the woman that hit Amiya Braxton got to walk away free the same day that she did this? And this man gets charged on the spot for killing Dalen Thomas. Also, what's interesting is that Karen Carpenter tried to flee the scene. She actually drug Amiya's body as she kept going and was asked to stop by several motorists on the road that day. That's very interesting. But I know you heard about the Nathan's Law, so let me tell you a little bit more about what that entails. I have an article here from schoolbusfleet.com. School bus safety bill signed into law. This was posted April 5th of 2011. Jackson, Mississippi. A bill that increases penalties for passing a stopped school bus, among other changes, was signed into law on Monday by Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour. The legislation was named for Nathan Key, a 5-year-old who was killed in December of 2009 when a vehicle illegally passed his school bus as he was unloading. I appreciate the dedication and passion of Nathan's parents, who were so instrumental in seeing this legislation through, Lieutenant Governor Phil Bryant said. This has been a long, hard fight, but was worth every moment to provide a safer environment for our children. Under the law, new fines for stop arm running will range from $350 to $750 for a first offense, and $750 to $1,500 for a second offense, which will also result in a driver's license suspension of 90 days. Nathan's Law makes several other changes related to school bus safety, including clarifying the offense of passing a stopped school bus and authorizing cameras on stop arms. It also requires that every driver's license examination ensures adequate knowledge on the part of the applicant as to the school bus safety requirements, according to the text of the legislation. A similar bill died in 2010 legislation session. The new bill was introduced in January. So after the first grand jury got denied, the family fought and fought for another grand jury to take place to indict Karen Carpenter on her violation of Nathan's Law. I have another article here from djournal.com. DA, Pontotoc grand jury faced difficult task in student's death. This was posted January 11th of 2018. Tupelo, when a second Pontotoc County grand jury did not indict a motorist for hitting and killing a girl who just stepped off of a school bus, many residents complained vocally, saying the driver should be charged criminally. District Attorney John Weedle said both the grand juries faced a tough task when hearing the case of North Pontotoc elementary student Amiya Braxton. This is a difficult case, Weedle said. I know they struggled with it based on the questions they asked. When you hear about it, the first thought is the motorist needs to pay. I completely understand that. That's human nature. But when you start looking at the law and how it applies, it becomes a difficult issue. Criminally, the case boils down to intent. Did the driver intend to pass the school bus, or did she intentionally strike the child? Neither grand jury found intent, so neither indicted the driver on felony charges. Braxton, age 7, had just gotten off a North Pontotoc school bus on October 4th of 2016 and was standing in her own driveway when she was hit by an SUV driven by Karen Michelle Carpenter of Saltillo. Carpenter was following the northbound school bus on Highway 9 and failed to stop when the school bus stopped. She swerved to the right into a ditch and struck the child. There was no evidence Carpenter was texting or using her phone at the time. She willingly gave blood samples and the toxicology reports came back clean. Neither the accident reconstructionist nor the black box in the SUV were able to pinpoint how fast Carpenter was going just before the wreck. The evidence was first presented to a grand jury in September of 2017 when another witness came forward with new testimony. The case was reheard by a new grand jury last week. We both felt the grand jury should look at both culpable negligence, manslaughter, and Nathan's Law, which deals with injuries caused by passing a school bus, Weedle said. Under Nathan's Law, if a child is injured by someone overtaking a school bus, the driver can be charged with aggravated assault. Both manslaughter and aggravated assault carry a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. When considering the evidence, a grand jury has to determine if the action was intentional or willful before they can indict someone for a felony. The big issue with respect to the Amiya case is there is no proof she intended to go around the bus with the intent of passing the bus, Weedle said. Nathan's Law is subject to interpretation. Is it a strict liability or do you have to prove intent? There is also the question of charging someone with aggravated assault in a death case. By definition, aggravated assault is the willful causing of serious bodily injury. In most cases, if the victim dies, the charge is upgraded to murder or manslaughter. When considering culpable negligence manslaughter, the grand jury had to decide whether the actions were careless or reckless. In a legal sense, reckless means it was a willful act, that there was some level of intention. Manslaughter is a reckless act that shows indifference to human life, Weedle said. The grand jury had to decide if there was a level of willfulness and this was criminal negligence or if this was civil negligence. Every case is different and the evidence doesn't always fall neatly into the legal definition of a particular criminal charge. We presented the facts and the laws and let the grand jury make up their own mind, Weedle said. And in both cases, the grand juries chose not to indict on either of the charges. Unless some new evidence is brought forward, Weedle considers the case closed. Braxton's parents, Charles and Andrea Braxton, disagree and say they are still looking into other options to pursue criminal charges against Carpenter. In a joint press release Monday, the parents say they could ask Attorney General Jim Hood to intervene, or they could present the results of a private investigation to a circuit court and ask for a special prosecutor. If they fail to get felony charges against Carpenter, the Braxtons said they could ask the Pontotoc County Sheriff's Office to file misdemeanor charges which carry a sentence of up to a year in jail. That could be difficult, if not impossible, Weedle said. Law enforcement cannot sign an affidavit for a misdemeanor crime unless they see it with their eyes. There are exceptions to that rule, including a certified reconstructionist showing excessive speed. Since Carpenter left the paved roadway and drove onto grass, there is no way to accurately estimate her speed to determine if it was reckless. The law is set up to prosecute the guilty, but it is also there to protect suspects' rights, Weedle said. Though it has been 16 months since Braxton was killed, Carpenter has never been charged criminally in this case. While the grand juries declined to indict Carpenter of any criminal wrongdoing, she could still be held liable in civil court. The family can file a wrongful death lawsuit against Carpenter. So, Sheriff Leo Mask, DA John Weedle, and the DA assistant Sandy Gardner, they all have something very much so in common with Karen Carpenter, the suspect. Can you see it? Do you see the difference between Amiya and everybody else in this story? Really, really interesting, huh? I can't believe that these people dropped the ball on this innocent child. She did nothing wrong. She was just coming home from school. And you guys let a murderer go with no remorse. As the family continues to fight, I want you all to know some of the physical pain that this baby girl went through after a day at school, a normal day at school. And I want you guys to continue the fight and help this family get justice for Amiya. Amiya's ribs were broken, her neck was broken, and also the doctor said if she would have woke up, she would have been brain dead. The whole top row of her teeth were knocked out and displayed in the yard where she was dragged, in her front yard. And even after the police left, the family still found her teeth in their yard. Blatant disregard, blatant disrespect, and my heart really does go out to the family. Seriously. What you can do to help is sign the petition for Amiya Braxton on change.org. That's one way that you can help. You can also help the family by cash apping Bree Jackson, who is Amiya Braxton's sister, and that will help them start up a foundation in Amiya's legacy. Once again, my heart, prayers, and condolences go out to the Braxton family. You guys are so strong. Remain strong. Don't give up. I know you won't anyway for this beautiful, beautiful child. Please look into the family's Facebook page, Justice for Amiya. And also, please share this information. Call these phone numbers. Find out what happened to this child because it could easily be yours. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Thank you guys so much for listening to Amiya's story. And I will be back with more information if anything changes. Hopefully it does. Hopefully we can be a change. Thank you all who follow me on my Instagram page at @LAShow_. I want to shout out a follower who sent me Amiya's story. I really do appreciate you. And also, shout out to everybody who has seen this story and interacted with this story and actually cared enough to discuss this situation and actually bring something to the table. Don't stop fighting for Amiya. We can do this. We can get this to somebody who can make a difference.